this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Welcome back to the hot seat, ladies and gentlemen. We're into game number 5 here. It's tied up at 2-all, an incredibly exciting series between these two Zerg players. Anything but a boring mirror matchup here. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the yellow Zerg player representing team mYinsanity, it is Petraeus. And his opponent spawning in the top left-hand position representing team Acer in the red colors. Slightly unconventional playstyle, as he's known for, and it's currently proving to be a bit of a hit. Let's see if he can continue his momentum. It's Acer Bly. Alright, so Bly starting out with a win, losing the next 2 games, and then winning game number 4. It's anybody's series to take at this point, and don't forget, by the way, it's loser's pick. For the maps of the first 7 games, and at the rate this is going, we're going to be getting into games number 8 and 9 to decide the series as well. And at that point, we have a completely new round of vetoes, and they're going to go down to 3 maps, so the players have a chance to veto down to what they're most comfortable with, and that's going to be the selection from which you choose the final 2 maps. So both players are going to be going for those hatcheries at exactly the same time. And all quiet early on. Not too much to discuss. We'll be checking out these gas timings to see exactly which one of these players might be making a different tech choice or a different timing early on in this game. The Overlords, by the way, are about to see each other. This one didn't quite cross, which I showed you just now, but these ones definitely will. And so they know that we have the southern position and the northern position on the left-hand side of the map now. And we already have a first difference. Bly is going to be getting that gas first before his pool, after going down that hatchery route. And Petraeus is just going to be going for the pool. No gas yet for our yellow player. Nice and calm, nice and simple. It's going to mean that Bly has a little bit of earlier map presence with Zergling speed, which is going to be quite nice for him, but it's not necessarily something he can turn into a concrete advantage. It just means he's a little bit safer, he's got a little bit of extra early game map control, and that's really about it. For now, though, we'll see how it ends up extending beyond this. Now, the third bases on this map are, to be honest, almost easy to defend than the natural in a way, because the natural has this wide ramp, and you know what, the third base also has the same kind of size ramp, and you have to get past it to go there anyway. So massive ramps with the backdoor expansion. There's a lot of potential for really, really dynamic play going into the latter stages of this game, and we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for how much of that is going to happen. You can see we have the early Zergling speed coming in here in game number 5 here for Bly. And he's continuing to harvest that gas with 3 harvesters on that extractor as well. So he's not stopping on the tech. Petraeus still hasn't taken gas, by the way. So this Zergling speed at this rate is going to possibly be over halfway done by the time we see any gas mining from Petraeus. That could end up being pretty big a little bit later on. So let's see if Bly wants to use this to end up doing something a little bit aggressive. And wow, even using drones to try and block the ramp here. Ooh, very, very nice. And as a result, the Zergling will not be able to go up and see what's going on here. So that's really, really well played. Petraeus knows something's up because he's like, why do you so desperately not want me to see what's going on inside your main base? And that's because we have the early layer from Bly, so that's going to be his game plan here by the looks of things. And we are now going to be taking double gas inside the main to play a little bit of catch-up. Petraeus, of course, has had more as far as minerals are concerned, and therefore enjoys a slight economic advantage, 33 to 31 workers, at the expense of not having that gas earlier as well. 8 Zerglings accompanying this layer, and we have the double, not the double Evo chamber, pardon me, the Roach Warren and the Evo blocking off with 2 queens from Petraeus in case there's any sort of really, really fast aggression. And there we go, we can see the speedlings coming out now. Petraeus sees them with his Overlord. Not that many of them though, only 8 coming down here with their little cute wings flapping about, and they're not going to be able to fly over this, unfortunately, as these buildings will be more than enough to keep them at bay. The layer's about to complete though, and 3 more gases are on the way now for Bly. So let's see what he ends up building next. It's going to be a very quick Spire. So here we go. Quick Mutas here on map number 5. Nothing of the sort yet for Petraeus. He's just going for the roaches after building that at his wall. So we appear to have a, I almost want to say classic ZVZ here, by the way, where we have a Spire on the one hand and roaches on the other, and it becomes a race against time. How much damage can Petraeus get done with roaches before Bly comes in with his Mutalisks? Oh, needs to try and save that Overlord. Here come the Lings to try and surround the Queens. Able to surround at least one of them, but it's going to have to back out as soon as he sees these roaches. And this Overlord will live to see another day. Or will he? Petraeus is now moving out across the map. I think he knows he needs to get damage done. This Overlord potentially trying to lead the Queens astray, but they're having none of it for now. This guy needs to get over to the high ground either there or there. Actually, that won't do anything because of the Xel'Naga Tower, but definitely has to get the heck out of dodge. And Petraeus is now being aggressive. The Spire is nearly done. We actually have a Roach Warren halfway complete now for Bly as well for some extra defense. Is he going to be able to hold it off with this? I'm not sure. Wow, 2, now 4 Spinecrawlers. Bly is very serious about holding this pressure. He's saying, if I get these Mutalisks out, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do. And 4 Spinecrawlers complete. This might look like overkill, but roaches are actually really hardy units. This could end up being a very tough fight for him to hold. The Spinecrawlers working away very, very hard. The Zerglings, though, doing a good amount of damage and soaking up a lot of it as well. Reinforcements coming in from Petraeus. More Lings reinforcing. And then actually 4 Spinecrawlers are now down to 2. Soon going to be down to 1. This is a very close fight, but the roaches are, I think, going to just about get pushed back. Only 1 Spinecrawler remaining. And Petraeus' reinforcements are beginning to dry up a little bit, but we're down to a Spinecrawler and 2 Queens. But here comes the first Mutt, ladies and gentlemen. And Bly is going to be able to power out those Mutalisks and say, you know what? You're not getting any realistic damage done now. And oh, here come the 2 Queens from earlier. I guess they're MVPing it up a bit because they've walked all the way across the map, but they are not going to meet a particularly friendly fate. A lot of mutas here still. And, ooh, the last Spinecrawler might actually go down here. No, not quite. And here come the remainder of the Lings. Good transfuse on that Spinecrawler to keep it alive for longer. And now the Queens are going to get surrounded. This is how they'll meet their end after taking about 3 million years to walk across the map. Unfortunately, this is where their journey finishes. Very well held there from Bly, and definitely advantage him. Petraeus, though, he's gone for the 3rd hatchery now, and we can see Spore Crawlers up in his bases, so he's going to prepare to defend against these Mutalisks. They aren't that numerous just yet. Only 5 of them on the field, and that's because a lot of that gas was used to make those roaches. So definitely an interesting situation here. Let's see if he can hold. The Spore Crawler isn't quite finished yet. The roaches are coming in as well. There is the Spore. And alongside those 2 Queens, it looks like he's going to be able to hold this off for now. The mutas are going to be able to be very annoying, but to an extent, because they won't be able... Oh, wow. To get in here with 2 Spore Crawlers is going to be next to impossible, and there are 2 Spore Crawlers here as well. Actually, considering the Spore Crawlers take 3 shots to kill a Mutalisk, not many shots at all, he can't really do that much harassment damage. So, Bly, in a pretty comfortable position right now. He's got a slight worker lead, 46 to 43. He's got a higher army supply as well, and he's got that tech going up for him. And, well, Petraeus is saying, okay, I'm going to have to do something pretty special to try and win this game. This Roach versus Muta style. Don't forget, when Bly in game number 1 encountered something like this, he ended up winning. Bly seems to be particularly adept at adjusting to imbalanced games, and I don't mean like one race is imbalanced compared to another. I mean games where the players inherently do different things. So one side here, he's gone roaches, the other side has gone mutas. Bly seems to be able to handle these kind of situations really well, but Nidus is certainly going to be a very, very interesting development. And there are a lot of Queens, by the way, that might end up going into here as well. So potentially, if you get enough Queens into this Nidus Worm, they're going to be able to transfuse each other and deal with the Mutalisks all night long. And this Overseer, I think, is moving across the map with intent. Oh man, this is going to be so interesting. I don't know who's going to win this game. Bly taking the 4th base location now. He's also getting an infestation pit up behind this. And I'll tell you what, if a Nidus comes in and you actually, for example, have a couple of pathogen glanced up infestors en route, that could be a massive problem. Let's see if that ends up happening. Here comes the Nidus inside the main base. Bly doesn't see it. Oh, he's going to hive. He's teching up quite a lot. He thinks there's no harm whatsoever. The Mutalisks spot the Nidus Worm. They're moving in to try and defend it now. The Nidus pops. It's at half health right now. Roach is coming out. Here comes the... Holy, that is a clutch transfuse. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 transfuses, and the number of queens here is insane. There are 8 queens, and the Mutalisks are all of a sudden powerless, and a second Nidus is going up inside the main base. Surely that has to get taken down. Yes, it does, but the original one still stays standing, and this is a big army inside the main base. Simultaneously, we have roaches moving forward to the third base location. Is Bly going to lose this now after gaining that advantage? Petraeus with the Nidus play here, looking like he might take game number 5 and take a 3-2 lead in this series. The roaches are moving away from the third base location. I like that he's not fighting the roaches and he's keeping them back, because he's keeping the Mutalisk occupied, because right now the main base is absolutely in tatters. Bly, there's nothing he can do to save this base. Now, bear in mind, Petraeus doesn't have a 4th down yet, by the way. He's only got the 3 bases, but he's doing so much with his army that he's taken a supply lead. He's at 127 supply to 110. Bly's going to be able to set up a concave at the bottom of this ramp to try and prevent the roaches from going down. What does he do against the queens? There might be transfuses available here. That's a lot of DPS as well. And queens, frankly, just have decent range. Petraeus is now just camped out. He's saying, right, I've got your main base done. I'm going to go ahead and deal with your natural expansion as and when I feel like it. Bly said, wait, well, I can set up this concave and just sort of wait for you forever. Don't worry about it. But we have another Nidus swarm coming down from Petraeus. He obviously is not content right now with the state of play, so more units are potentially going to be coming down this way. And Bly looking like he wants to try and attack up the ramp and clean this up. In fact, with the Mutalisks here as well, he might just be able to do it. The queens have tremendous amounts of transfuses, but the number of roaches on the field are beginning to dwindle. It's 24 versus 25 roaches, technically, but I'll tell you what, their 25 roaches are not here, and that's because they're moving here. They're going to be going up and trying to take apart this third base. These queens are now going to start to fall, but is that at the cost of this third base for Bly? He's doing an incredible job moving up into the main base once again, and now the hatchery can get focused down. Is he going to be able to get forces back in time? The hatch on 3/4 health. Oh, he might be able to save it, actually. The queens have now been mopped up over here. The main base is completely gone. The 4th base is up at the very least, and this hatchery survives, ladies and gentlemen. So Petraeus stabilizes. He's now at 120 supply. 72. He was not able to take apart this hatchery though, and I think this supply advantage should still comfortably hold the game in his favor. Bly has done well to keep that third hatch alive, but what Petraeus has kept alive is going to be enough. GG, ladies and gents, and we're going to be going into game number 6.